All right. Well, I'm going to start off with a very hard question for you guys. Are you ready? Everyone ready? Who can tell me who this person is? Does anyone know who that is? How about if I give you a hint? You can see that he's a lifeguard, right? You guys can read that. What if I tell you that he was also an actor? Do you guys know? No one knows? What if I give you another hint? He was the governor of California. Do you guys know who that is now? Not yet? What about he was the 40th president of the United States? Do you guys know who this is? Who? Ronald Reagan. Good job. Now, Ronald Reagan, you can say he was a successful person, right, in the world's eyes. I mean, he became the president of the United States. That's a pretty big thing to have on your resume, right? Well, when Ronald Reagan got older, he had a medical condition, his last years of life, called Alzheimer's disease. And what that means is he would forget a lot of things, like his memory. He didn't have a good memory anymore. So he forgot back when, he would forget a lot of things. And in his room, I guess at home, he had this picture. It's Rock River in Illinois. This is where he grew up. And a reporter went to his house one day and started asking him questions like about his life. You know, they wanted to know more about his life. And they asked him, do you remember back when you were a movie star? What do you remember about that? And he was like, oh, I don't remember that. And then they asked, well, what about when you were the governor or president? Do you remember that? You had to remember that. That's such an important thing, right? And he was like, I don't remember that anymore. Like, he was forgetting all these things when he was getting older. So he was becoming very, very forgetful, and he forgot a lot of things. And then the reporter asked him, well, what's this picture of this river you have here? It was just a picture of that river, right? And he said, oh, that I remembered. Because back when I was a lifeguard, I saved 77 people from dying in that river. So you can see that something that to him was way more important than becoming president or an actor or any of the other things in life. He remembered that back on that river, he saved people's lives. And today I want to talk about lasting memories. How do we remember things? How do you guys remember things? By thinking about it? What makes it easier to remember something? Okay. Writing it down. That's a very good one. What about something else? Yes? Pictures. Very good. So you saw just by me showing you those pictures that you'll remember stuff like that better. So I want to read Genesis 9:12-16. This was right after the flood, and this is what God said to Noah. And God said, this is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. Now, who knows what that sign is? Does anyone know? Yes? Rainbow. So let's continue. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on earth. So God was saying, when you see a rainbow, this symbolizes something, right? I want this to be a memory for you of what God did for you, right? So what I want to talk about today is I want to have a picture like this, that every time we see this picture, we'll remember, oh, God did something that helped me, or God showed his power through this picture, right? And the one way to do that, I don't know if it's the best way to do it, but one way to do that is with pictures. Now, I want you guys to give me something. That's pretty selfish of me, right? I want everyone here to give me a photo. And what we're going to do is what other families have at home. You probably have one of these at home, right? What is this? A photo album, right? And I want in this photo album to put pictures of GRBC. And every year, whenever God does something in your life, you can take a picture of it and we'll put it in this album. And then we'll put it somewhere up front and everyone can see how God worked through our lives, okay? So do you think you guys could bring pictures and we can fill this thing up by the end of the year? It has 160 places for photos. Do you guys think you can help me with that? And maybe what we can do is if someone takes a picture of a river and puts it in here, no one's going to know what that river is, right? So what we can do is if you come to church on Friday night, you can tell the church, it can be in 2 sentences, describe that picture and why it's so important. And if you remember, last Sunday, Fratele Sabo showed us a picture. Now, he sent that picture to me earlier in the week. And it was just a car and a bag next to the car. And I was thinking, what in the world? What is with this picture? This means absolutely nothing to me. But then when he explained it, that picture had so much meaning. And every time I'm going to see that picture, I'm going to remember how great God was to him. And I think all of us can do that. So if you can, go and maybe find a picture or take a picture. We have so many cameras around our house. And if you send me that picture, I'll print it out for you and we'll put it in here, okay? Do we have a deal? And that way, when we look back at this, we'll know how God worked in our lives. Okay? All right, thank you. You can go back to your seats.